All right, welcome back to another Daily Dose of Mike Mynar. I got Steven here with me. We're going to cover step 3. What is step 3? What is step 3? What is step 3, Steven?
The inspection step.
Inspection. It's actually the need step. Inspection is just part of it, but we refer to it as the need step because our focus has got to be on that. We're creating need, right? So the purpose of step 3, creating need via fear of loss. Because people, you want somebody to buy something or do something, if they have a fear of losing something or losing money, they'll spend money not to lose money. It's very natural. So there's 5 reasons people buy and don't buy. We're discussing the second reason they buy and don't buy. If you really need a new pair of shoes, are you going to go buy them? But if you don't really need a new pair of shoes, what's the likelihood of you buying them? But unless you got a good sales rep at that store, starts telling you all the great features and comforts and benefits and all the greatness, you really like him, and then he builds up the need, creates a story in your mind about how you could need those shoes. You went in there not needing them, but he shows you why you could need them. Then all of a sudden, you're buying a pair of shoes. See how that works? Right? So you got to build up that need. Now, how does that work? Well, we create a third-party binder. Third-party information, it's validation. This is great research material to be able to tell stories. It creates a story for the customer. So being able to sit down with them after you go outside and inspect. We all know about inspecting. I'm not here to discuss the inspecting. That's the first part, the first 10 minutes of step 3. The next 45 minutes of step 3 is all focused on this. Okay, 30 to 45 minutes. Because now you're going to be able to create a storyline with the customer, just like you do with the company presentation. You're going to be able to create that storyline of what that looks like, right? So, actually, 2 seconds. It's getting hot on me. I work better when I'm cold. Cold, keep your body psyched up. All right, so mine's a little separated here, but you want to create a third-party binder, okay? You want to be able to put all those articles in there. So, in my company book, I kind of have a lot of these articles I threw together, so it's going to be a little bit different. But I want to focus how you start off the third party, what he uses the bridge. And what I love is this great article right here. So your company, your third-party presentation book, okay, your information book, your first page should be this page, right? So this page right here, the 5 top reasons to go solar. Now what's cool is, guess what? It gives you 5 subjects to talk about, right? Now there may be other reasons that customer wants to go solar. May not be these 5 reasons. These are the 5 common reasons. I like to be able to discuss the 5 main reasons, and I also like to ask the customer, why would they go solar? So you remember in the company presentation, how you just introduced and you guys seen what it's like to ask them when it's hot 3 things they look for in a contractor of choice? So now it's finding out their hot buttons, and why would you go solar? So again, you could ask that question. So John and Mary, why would you guys want to go solar? So asking them that question, they'll say, well, we want to lower our energy cost. That's a reason. We want to help the planet. That's a reason, right? We want to keep up with the Joneses. We want to keep up with technology, right? You can ask them that question if you need to. I would, especially in the beginning. Well, guys, why would you go solar? Because then what are you going to be able to focus on in your book? The reasons, right? So take that sheet I made you for the 3 things that look for a contractor choice, flip it over on the back side, and write the reasons they go solar. And you can tell them you're note-taking. So you could just say, hey, I just wanted to check, guys, what, if you were to go solar, what would be a reason you'd want to go solar? Now you got their hot buttons. Now you can start your story off. So you start your story off right here. And I tell this to them, okay, those are great reasons. They actually fall into some of the main reasons that people go solar. But the top 5 reasons people go solar, we're going to start with number 1. Number 1 is to completely eliminate or drastically reduce your electric bill. Number 2, earn a great return on your investment. Number 3, protect against rising energy costs. Number 4, increase property value. Number 5, boost energy independence. Right? So right there, I've got articles that you in your book that you'll be able to assemble. I have articles, multiple articles for each of these subject lines. So the idea is, let's say a customer doesn't care about increasing their resale value, but you've got 5 articles. Are you going to sit there and go through every article? Because it doesn't mean shit to them. They don't really care about resale value. Are you going to focus on every one of those resale value articles? Nope. But what if they want to boost the U.S. energy independence? What if they're in the line with helping the planet? They're big on America becoming clean energy. What if that's a big thing to them? What are you going to focus on?
Focus on that.
Every article you have. That's what's so cool. It's a weapon, right? It's a tool. It's a weapon, right? And it has multiple attachments. Here's a grenade launcher. Here's a bayonet. Here's a semi-automatic. Here's automatic. Here's these different attachments to the weapon. Here's a flashlight, for night vision. Here's a laser scope, right? So the laser scope's going to do its job. Well, guess what? I'm going to use every bit of that laser scope. But maybe I never really touched a grenade launcher. So it's okay that the book has 50 articles in it. You don't need to use every one. You're going to want to know most of them in each subject line to a degree so that in the event you can use it. It's a weapon, you need to know it. So that means you need to practice it. You need to be able to use that weapon. But you're not always going to have to use it every single time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm losing you at any point, just stop me, okay? So when we look at the storyline, our first page, top 5 reasons people go solar. We just got them to tell us their 3 reasons or 2 reasons or 1 reason. I get 1 each. That's what I like to do. What's a reason you would go solar? What's a reason you would go solar? Do the same thing. Hey, what's a reason both of you guys would want to go solar? Right? But I like to ask them, this is knowledge for me. Why would you go solar? Why would you go solar? Write it on the back of that sheet. Now I can focus. Now I know which direction to go. So number 1, completely eliminate or drastically reduce your electric bills. Now, I wish I could change this up and renumber it because I like to start off with rising energy costs. It's the most painful one to talk about rate increases. It's the one to get the most stuff into their mind. So when I'm teaching you guys, it won't be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 in order, but it'll be focused on these 5. So number 1 that I like to talk about each page. So I'm sitting there with John and Mary and I'll say, do you guys realize that energy costs have been going up? Do you guys know that? You can play along with me.
Yeah.
So you guys see that energy costs going up? Do you know how much it's gone up?
A lot.
You have any idea?
Not offhand.
It's okay. Most people don't realize how much energy costs is going up. Most people don't know that at all. In fact, it's just a bill that you continue to pay. Do you know that 10 years ago you were probably paying half of what you're paying now? Probably don't even remember that, right? It's hard to even realize. And then the customer's like, yeah, God, man, we were paying $100 at one point, $80 a month, $70 a month. And what are you paying now?
A lot.
We're paying like $250. Pretty insane, right? I mean, look at the cost of bread, gas. I mean, things go up. But what's really crazy is the inflation rate is like 2%, right? Whatever it is, 2 or 3%, if that. There's like an inflation rate every year of like what things go up in general. I mean, granted, you could buy a house 40 years ago for 40 grand or 20 grand. Now you can't buy a house for less than 150 to 250, right? There's things that go up over time. Bread, nickel, now it's like $3 a loaf, right? Things do go up, we can agree. The energy cost actually outpaces inflation. It's insane. Energy prices for electricity have gone up. And with all the people that are going solar, all the initiatives and all the rule changes that are occurring, more and more people are going that direction. It's actually causing electricity costs to even skyrocket more. So, do you know that PG&E rate increases over the last 30 years have averaged over 6%? That's like double inflation. Can you imagine? I mean, your cost over the last 30 years has been going up an average of 6%. So that's like double the inflation rate of increase. Let me ask you a question, John and Mary. Do you guys get a 6% pay raise?
No.
You don't. Every year, do you get a 6% pay raise to cover that 6% increase in your electricity?
I wish, right?
Right? So you got to cut back somewhere. So you got to think about it. Every 6% cuts back something. Maybe your vacation, maybe the spending over here, maybe over here, over there. We have to adjust, right? Gas prices go up, we have to end up adjusting. Electricity prices go up 6% on average or more, we got to adjust. We're cutting back here, we got to cut back there, because we're not getting a pay raise. That's pretty crazy to think. Double inflation. How does that make you feel?
Not good.
Not good at all, does it? It's pretty frustrating, isn't it? I know. I'm a homeowner too, and I face it. Thank God I went solar, right? Did you know that nationally, that's PG&E. Did you know that nationally electricity prices have increased over 40% just in that last 10-year period there, from 2003 to 2012? 40% increase nationally. So it's not just PG&E; it's across the United States. Pretty insane, right? 40%.
Yeah.
Man, I wish my house value would go up 40%. Right?
Yeah.
I wish my pay raise would go up 40%. My income would go up 40%. Right? That'd feel good. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Right? Well, do you guys know that basically, like stuff that happens in England that's really cool, it takes a while and it eventually makes its way to us. It's kind of like things kind of spread west. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
So like a trend or new technology or something will happen over in England, and then it'll eventually work its way to America, and it becomes the new thing, and then over time, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, music, all that kind of stuff. Same thing like on the East Coast, West Coast. It takes forever for the stuff that happens as it works its way over. Well, that happens too with electricity in a sense. San Diego, or SDG&E, when you look at their rates, they've had a 64% increase. 64% increase from 2000 to 2011. It's already gone up way more than that from 2011, 2007, 16. 5 years. That was the 10-year period. 64% increase. It's pretty insane, right? Well, things travel, especially in California. Going to travel north, right? Well, check out PG&E. This is actually a document from PG&E. This was their projected price increases. This is their projected of their cost. But you notice the kind of the trend there? Pretty insane, right? So when you use that chart, look at that, all going up. Now I lose track. I like to write on here, and I write the dates. I need to look at the new one that just came out and changed this date. But they used to, in 2013, they used to average 18.9 cents. Average. What that means is with their 4 tiers, John and Mary, what you're paying, you would average about 18.9 cents when you take your high tier and your low tier. Then it started to go up. I just quit writing it because I'm going to run out of space. I need to create a new sheet. But do you know that by 2020, their average is almost going to double? 31%, or 31 cents? Oh, man, double. That's a lot of money. And we're not that far away from 2022. You know, they get their rates approved. They're in the process of getting rates approved for like 2020 and on, 2019. They already got the rates improved for what they're going to charge you, because they already increased. You look at your bill. In fact, I think I emailed this to you guys. I'm going to give it to you too. Let's see if I printed it out. I want you guys to see this. This will help you a lot. But if the customer doesn't realize that their prices have gone up, could have swore I printed it. I swear I sent it out an email. Anyway, I took a picture of the customer's December bill, one of my customers, and then I showed on his bill, his December bill, it literally showed his rate increase. I think I did give it to you guys the other day. It showed his rate increase from December to January, which is kind of insane to think that. There it is. Perfect. Let me have that puppy. So this is cool. This is actually a customer's bill. So December, you were paying 16.7 cents, and then your tier 2 you were paying 19.8. Now I wish I could get another bill that shows them in 4 tiers. But by January, that same electricity, 18 cents and 21 cents. Look at that jump, right? So already, you can see, just right there alone, that's just one time, which they already did this a couple times last year, a couple times the year before that. This is the first one this year. They'll probably end up doing another one in June, because they usually do them twice a year, right? So there's that big kind of jump. So they're averaging more, people are averaging like 21, 23 cents. Now, if I recall, when I was looking at your guys' bill, I want to let you know, do you know what you average? You guys are averaging more like 26, 27 cents, because you're paying a lot of those high tier 3s and 4s. Pretty painful, right?
Yeah.
And that's only going to keep going up. Can you imagine when you get up to the 50-cent range?
Ouch.
And you're going to be averaging over 31 cents? Guys, I mean, how are you going to feel when your bill doubles? How do you think you'll feel when your bill doubles? It's kind of painful that you're paying $250 right now. What's it going to be like when you're paying close to $500? What's that going to make you feel like?
Hurt.
I don't think any of us want to do that.
Mm.
Man, I saw my bill get up to $297 last year or the year before I went solar. Scared the crud out of me. Like $297, right? I can only imagine. You know, I have customers out there with $400 and $500 and $600. It's become a standard that if you have electricity on your house, you average between $250 and $350. That's pretty much almost all those homes out there. And pretty soon, those homes are gonna be averaging $500. I got homes that average $800, $900. Mortgages. People's electricity bills today, right now, your electricity bills was people's mortgages 25, 30 years ago. Would you agree? 20 years ago, 30 years ago, people's mortgage. It's insane. So now people's electricity bills are like their mortgages. So basically you're mortgaging your electricity. How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Not feeling so good, right? I know, guys. I deal with it all the time. It drives me nuts, right? So when you look at those rate increases, that's where I said with my book it's very simplified, but here you want to use those different sheets. So averaging, right? That's where you tell the story. Do you know, this is I like to explain to them too, depending on what you have in your book, but do you know how the rates work with PG&E? They have 4 tiers, right? So you have tiers that can get up over 30 some odd cents, almost 40 cents, right? So you're only allowed a certain amount of usage in each tier. So once you reach that usage point, then every ounce of power you use after that, every kilowatt, you pay that next tier, and so on. That's crazy to think. Basically what that means is your power that you're consuming, because it's done daily too, by the way, so you can get into tier 4 by the end of the day. You get up in the morning to get ready for work, to go to work, and you're getting your power, let's say, at the cheaper price, right? And then by the time you leave for work, you're starting to hit the second tier because you've already used or consumed what you can for the day for that first tier. Then you go to work and you're gone throughout the day, and your house and your little fish tanks and all your stuff in your house kind of slowly uses that second tier, right? Then you get home from work and you start turning on stuff. You're cooking, you turn on the AC, you got the washing machines going, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden you're rocking the 3rd and 4th tier by the evening time. You're paying twice to 4 times as much for the same power in the evening as the same power you use when you're curling your hair in the morning, Mary. You know, I hate it. It was monthly. You used to allow a certain amount of usage per month, and then you would go into tiers. And I used to tell people your first, 10, it says right on PG&E website, they have a thing that tells you all about it. It's funny. But your first 7 to 10 days, you're in tier 1. Your next 10 to 15 or 18 days, you're in tier 2. 18 through 23 days, you're in tier 3. And then from 23 to 30 days, that 30th day, that last week of the month, you're in tier 4. I used to tell people, look, why don't you go visit mom and dad? Go visit grandparents for the last week of the month. That way you ain't paying 4 times as much for the same energy. Now it's daily. So I'm like, you know what? Don't come home from work, man. Just go use Walmart when it's 115 degrees outside. Go hang out in Walmart. Why waste electricity in your house when you have to pay 4 times as much for the same power? It's not premium unleaded electricity. It's not premium. It's the same electricity. It's not special. Doesn't give your home a boost, but you pay 4 times as much. Why? Why? Like, why do they have to do that? Why do they got to make you pay 4 times as much?
Right.
Well, because they think that maybe it'll cause you to cut back, right? But the usage amount you're allowed is very minimal. I think it's pretty easy in today's terms. You guys got kids. You guys got cell phones plugged in. You got microwaves and ovens and 4 TVs and electronics and a hot tub and a pool and an AC unit and a couple refrigerators, deep freezer. We did the inspection earlier. I was walking around. We were talking and looking at the different energy devices you have. I mean, what? We want to put you back in the Stone Ages. Let's get rid of all that stuff. Why did they even make it in the first place? Let's get rid of all that stuff. Let's keep it basic like it used to be 30 years ago. A couple lamps. Maybe if you're lucky, a TV, a refrigerator, and that's about it. So it's like a punishment. But let's send you back in time and get rid of all that equipment. Would you guys want to do that? No. But you guys want to still keep paying 4 times as much for your electricity? I don't blame you. and it's only going to get worse. But that's how they do their usage, right? Well, PG&E, just remember San Diego Gas and Electric? PG&E in the same time period went up 46%. So they're just a hair behind the SDG. And that's even worse. Check this out. As you know, this is an old article, but in fact, these forces drove California electricity prices to increase more than 45% since 2000. 46.5%, 45% since 2000. Electricity prices outpaced inflation since the 1970s. Electricity costs have been outpacing inflation since 1970s. Large states such as New York and California saw price increases at even faster rate, causing concern for residential and business customers alike. In California, power prices rose sharply over the electricity crisis in 2001 and have been rising steadily ever since. Increased 44 to 65% since 2000. 45, 46, 64. That's where it comes from. This translates to an average rate increase of nearly 6% annually. You know who's paying that? You guys are. Most industry experts predict that the average electricity prices throughout the U.S. will increase significantly over the next decade. Californians in particular should expect to see high prices increases averaging 5 to 7% per year. Historical trends point to steep rate increases over time in California. And this was back in 2008. 7 years ago. 8 years ago. I was able to get this article. I've been researching and collecting stuff forever, right? It's insane, right? That's what's happening. Another thing about the price increases, I don't know how you guys feeling right now. It's frustrated?
A little bit.
Yeah, I understand. Super frustrating. Super frustrating how they do their rates. There's you should have it. You should have an article. There's a couple more articles on rate increases, but it talks about so I'm teaching you the whole story, things you can say. There it is. Let me see your book. Let me just see your book. Okay. I like to talk about this one. See, I'm all in rate increases. So when you organize your book, okay, you have these stories you tell. Right now, we're just talking about hot button number 1, rate increases. Here's one. Check this out. Rate increases proposed by Pacific Gas and Electric Company could bring double-digit jumps in electricity. PG&E is proposing one of the largest general rate increases in the history of California. That's 2010. Largest rate increases in the history of California. And you should have the other article. 7 weeks after approving the biggest electricity rate increases in California history, Groundhog Day, that's what it feels like, state power regulators decided to spread the pain. It's funny how they say it like this. Spread the pain by raising rates for the biggest residential users by an average of $85 a month. 2001 is when this 2001 this came out, right? 9 years before the other one. 7 weeks after approving the biggest electricity rate increase in California history. And then they did it again, 2010. Double, biggest rate increases. And you think that next one that's coming, it's already on the looms, it's already happening, is not going to be the biggest one ever again? So since you've been living in your house, your rates have doubled twice, they're about to double again. Pretty crazy, huh? Wouldn't it be nice to go back 15 years ago and get it behind, when all that stuff happened?
Yeah.
That'd be an awesome feeling, right?
Yeah.
LA Times, U.S. electricity prices may be going up for good. Experts warn of growing fragility as coal-fired plants are shut down, nuclear power is reduced, and consumers switch to renewable energy. A fifth of all power generation capacity in grid serving 60 million people went suddenly offline. The wholesale price of electricity skyrocketed nearly $2 per kilowatt an hour, more than 40 times the normal rate. This caused customers, this is Pennsylvania, this caused customers to all of a sudden have $1,250 bills. The bill was reduced, he ended up talking it down, I guess. Got no relief on a $654 charge. It was ridiculous. This is a customer talking about him. One recent study predicts the cost of electricity in California alone could jump 47%. In fact, the price of electricity has already been rising over the last decade, jumping by double digits in many states. This is LA Times, okay? In California, residential electricity price shot up 30% between 2006 and 2012. Went up 46% in 2010, or 2000 to 2011. Everywhere you turn, there are proposals and regulations to make prices go higher. California has all but phased out coal-generated electricity. San Jose, Mercury News. PG&E wants to lower electricity rates for high user customers and raise rates for low users customers. So now they're going to come after you for the low users, right? They want to come after those guys because all you guys are cutting back. Here we are sitting in your house and it's kind of cold and you guys got sweaters on. You guys told me you kind of do that in your house because you're afraid to use electricity, right? That's caused you to cut back. Now they're coming after people that cut back. See what I mean? Like, they're going to find ways to raise rates and to screw. Sorry for my French. I'm a little pissed off now. I get pissed off and passionate about this because I think it's BS. But now they're going to screw even the low users. So your grandparents that own their house that are using, they're going to pay more. Because you know how many people are doing that? You know how many homeowners are cutting back on their electricity rates? They're cutting back on electricity use. They can't cut the rates. Cutting back on electricity use, they've been living like that. This is your castle. This is your home. You buy it. You own it. It's your stuff, but you can't enjoy it because you're afraid of what you'd have to pay to enjoy it. It's becoming like a video game, like playing The Sims or something. The cost of energy and cost of doing things in there, you got to do more. You guys feeling that pain yet?
Yeah, no doubt.
Whew, it's crazy. Electricity rate hike improved. This was 2015. Most residential customers in California will see their electricity bills increase under a new rate structure passed Friday by state regulators. This last year, that's why there was a rate increase. 3 major utility companies in California, including PG&E, can begin increasing rates within 60 days. Well, what do you think they did? They probably increased those rates in the first 30 days.
Yeah.
Look at that. Nationally, do you know from 1980 to 2000 and from 1980 to basically 2005 or 2015 or 2013? I wrote some side notes. I lose track here. 175% increase. Man, you know that PG&E was only 4 cents. Can you believe that? At one point in time, it was only 4 cents.
Way back when.
Way back when, right? But then, bam! That was 2005, 175% increase. Now in 2015, we're averaging 20.5 cents. Last year. Now the people are averaging 22 or 23. So 4 cents, 23 cents. 23 cents.
Yeah.
4 cents. Man, that's a whole lot of money, guys. Wouldn't you agree with me? I mean, God bless. What are they doing to us, right? We got to get these books fixed up.
Yeah, I need to get some more of the plastic sleeves.
Is this your company book?
Yeah, I just put all those in the back.
Why is there loose pages though? Okay, we'll talk about this in a minute.
Add it in there.
Okay, so as you can see, you got to pull out all the articles when you guys make your books, and you put your books in order. So you've got your 5 reasons, your first one, and then you put all your rate increases. See all those articles? I just read the articles and told the story and built up emotion, and I've been in this for 29 minutes. And I've only covered one reason you go solar. You see how I use 5 or 6 different articles? See how I got many commitments? See how I got emotional, got you emotional? Are you pissed off? You want to deal with that kind of stuff? So what's the likelihood? Do you start to feel like you need a resolution to that?
Yeah.
You're starting to feel it, aren't you?
create the need, right?
That's right, and you're starting to feel it. You're like, oh crap, right?
Okay.
See, that's what you're building up. So you go back to the 5 reasons. So right there, we check off 1, energy rates, right? Then I like to follow that up. You got completely eliminate or drastically reduce your electricity bills. So you know, another reason people like to go solar. So there's solar power your retirement, adds value to the home. Go renewable, solar is booming. There's electricity rate. So then you can show people, like, you know, going with the solar, they can reduce their rates, right? And you show them a couple of the bills. You just say, look, wouldn't you imagine only paying $540? Well, actually now when it's 10, would you imagine only paying 10? You imagine that? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Mm-hmm.
If you could go all the way back and pay 10, you know, so you can hedge against that and cut out those electricity uses with the solar, right? So you cover that. And then the main thing is talk about the PG&E. That's why I focused on it.
Yeah.
But as you focus on them, so you've got protect against rising energy costs. We really focused on return on your investment. That's what you got these articles for. So power your retirement. You know, a lot of people are taking their retirements because they're getting returns on the solar, an insane return of ROI's return on investment, 20+%. I don't know about you, but where can you invest your money that you can get that kind of returns? My customer's been averaging 14 to 21%. So give or take. So instead of putting money in over here where you're making 2% or 1.35% on it, do you imagine getting 14% on it? Isn't that the coolest thing? Like, people are retiring by using solar as an advantage to them. Huge. As you can see, how does it stack up against other investments? Look at that. Stocks, 3-month T-bills, 10-year T-bonds. Stacks way better. It's like 2 and 3 times return. So I've got customers actually cashing out some of this stuff and using it to go towards solar because it returns in a huge investment. Did you imagine that? I mean, it's huge. And then as far as the other reason people like to go solar is it's going to add value to their homes. There's been tons and tons of articles done that have shown that, but look at this. Lawrence Berkeley, I think we all know Lawrence Berkeley Laboratory. They determined that a 1 kilowatt increase in size equates to over $5,911 higher premium in the house. The number of solar homes in the U.S. is increasing rapidly, so more data is going to be pulled. The study found that California larger systems garner larger premiums. Each 1 kilowatt increase in size equates to $5,911 again. New York Times. New research sponsored by the Department of Energy shows that buyers are willing to pay more for homes with rooftop solar panels. The study conducted by Lawrence Berkeley from 2002 to 2013. Willing to pay a premium of $15,000 for a home with the average size solar system of 3.6, compared with a similar home without one. That's like $4.16 per watt that people are willing to pay, right? There was a brand new study done last year. I don't know, I get that article for you guys. I know this offhand. A brand new study too. Basically, return on value every 3 kW is like $17,500. So it equates to about just at about 105% return on your investment. So people are willing to buy homes with energy efficiency on it. Having solar put on it's going to make a big difference, right? It's starting to actually pop up. If you look in real estate magazines, John and Mary, you'll start seeing that it'll say solar, solar, solar. Like, it's becoming popular. When I first started selling windows as an energy efficiency years ago, they weren't as popular. And as people understood that putting windows in their home made their home more efficient, right? More people started to purchase windows, and that spread that people put that in their real estate listing, that it has windows in it. New, dual pane, low E, argon gas filled, energy efficient vinyl windows. People were, oh, that's a house I want. I want a house that I can buy that already has it done, because it'll be more energy efficient, which means I'll have a lower energy cost. So I'm going to pay a little bit more for this house. Can you imagine if you walked in? This house A uses $500 a month in electricity. House B has solar on it and uses $20 a month in electricity. Mortgage on house A, they're basically the same houses, right? But mortgage on house A is, I don't know, let's say $1,500. Mortgage on house B is $1,650, $1,650 or so, $1,700, because it's a little, it's $30,000 more sale price. So it's like $100 more a month. But this one has a $500 electricity bill, and this one has a $10, $20, $30 electricity bill. Which house you gonna want?
Solar.
Yeah, because you can,
Yeah.
right? So it's becoming more appealing. Studies are being done left and right. So that's a major reason people are doing it, because it's raising the resale value, the return on their money. So you imagine you put the solar in your house, you get the return on your money if you sell it in 3 years, but during that time, you're also recouping all that energy at a much, much lower rate. That's huge. You guys agree?
Absolutely.
That's a huge reason why people go solar. This is my favorite. And I know some people do and some people don't care, but I do care because I got 4 kids. I got 40 plus nieces and nephews, right? Can't even keep track anymore. I'm a great uncle. You guys got kids and grandkids. We talked about that earlier. You got little Johnny and Mary and, Mary Jr. and little Sammy and his grandkids, right? Guys, the world didn't get together in Paris, 200 countries, to talk about climate change for no reason. It's a serious thing. I don't know how you guys truly feel, but it's a serious thing. All these countries are all jumping on board right now. Solar's blowing up, clean energy's blowing up everywhere. Everybody's building fields and fields and filling up rooftops with solar because it's making a difference. Every home that can stop using coal-burnt electricity, other forms of electricity, and go with a cleaner, renewable solar, wind, hydro, when they can get electricity produced from a cleaner source, the goal is, by doing that, is it's going to help our planet. And it's scary stuff. I read an article that there's going to be, 500 million, 500,000 deaths by the year 2030 caused because of climate change. It's 500 million. That was insane. Mostly third world countries. I get it. It's not like climate change is going to hit us here in Redding that bad and we're going to die, but people are going to die and things are going to happen because climate change is only going to get worse. It's already happening. Look at all the tsunamis and all the earthquakes. The things are escalating. The heat temperatures. People are having heat strokes. Do you know that this is a record year? Again, last month was a record month for heat in the world. And the month before that was a record. And the month before that was a record. And the month before that was a record. I researched this stuff because I really believe in climate change, guys. It's only getting worse. This whole 2-degree thing is real. These seas are rising. Polar bears are swimming 15 miles from ice cap to ice cap. Polar bear population is falling out. There's a lot of population of species on the earth that are disappearing. So I take it very seriously. It's one of the reasons I did solar. It's a very important part to me. Dangerous global warming, closer than you think, climate scientists say. Abrupt climate change is not only imminent, it's already here. It is. And plants and animals and other species are already struggling to keep up with rapid climate shifts, increasing the risk of mass extinction that would rival the end of the dinosaurs. Efforts to restrain global warmings are woefully inadequate. Woefully inadequate. I don't know if us countries know what to do. We're all trying to jump on it. We can't burn all these fossil fuels. There's no recognition of this in government policies. This is why they had the climate change talk. This is an older article, but this is where they're talking about. Climate policies are changing. Global emissions of CO2 from burning fossil fuels, which set another new high in 2012. I got an old article here. It was already talking about it back then. Must decline to zero within the next few decades, according to analysts. Affordable clean energy is probably the biggest requirement the planet has. Given the size of the problem, the fossil fuels of coal, oil, and natural gas still provide more than 80% of the world's energy. And all of the above clean energy effort will be required. It's 2012, so finally the government's got together and they're looking at clean energy, man. This is real. And one of those being solar, huge one. Of course, wind and hydro and stuff. What is called normal is completely reckless. Increasing efficiency in the use of such energy, as well as switching cars from running on gasoline to electricity, will also be vital. That's happening. Pretty soon you guys will be driving an electric car. What's called normal is completely reckless. We're destroying our planet. Helping our planet one solar home at a time. Where do you think most of our toxics come from? High percentage of most of our toxics come from. 43.9% of the majority of all of our pollution and our toxics come from electricity generation, heat in homes and businesses. Almost half of our electricity or our pollution is created due to electricity. Driving your car, 15%. If we can wipe out those two together, think about it. Where president and everybody, countries are already putting restrictions on these guys. But if we can wipe these two out with electric cars and we can get solar put on those homes and we can wipe out the fossil fuels, we may be able to, as a world, may be able to reduce at least 40 to 60% of our pollution because we're trying to create electricity, because we want the benefit of turning on a light switch and having hot water and keeping our house cool. And freezing our meat in the freezer, right? Mm-hmm. But what's it doing to our planet? What's it doing for Mary and Johnny and each one of them? What's their life going to be like 20 years from now? What's their kids' lives going to be like 30 years from now, 50 years from now? Maybe we're dead and gone, but you know what? I like to know that at least I did my part and at least I made an effort, because I'm tired of 28% of the pollution being nickel and arsenic, 62% arsenic, 77% acid gases. You guys know what's happening over in, was it Beijing or Japan or one of them over there? Hong Kong, I think it is. I need to look that up again. Do you know they had like don't go outside days last year because the pollution over the city was so bad, and the toxic levels, the alarms, they set off alarms, and people stayed in their homes and did not go outside for the day because it was too toxic. I couldn't believe it. I found a guy on eBay selling Colorado air, like this beautiful, freshest air possible from mountains, selling it by the canister of fresh air on eBay for $15 to $35, and as things compress, he said he was literally getting like premiums of $45 plus for a little small container of compact air. All he did was just went up over somewhere over there and got the mountain air, sealed it, shipped it over to that country, and people over there are willing to buy it just so they can have 5 minutes of clean air. That's coming here. You ever look at Los Angeles? You ever really look at the pollution at other places? You ever pay attention down in Sacramento?
Something small.
Oh yeah. What's it doing to our kids, man? What's it doing to us? What's happening to us? Right? What's going on? I take it very seriously. I'm sorry, maybe you guys don't care, but I mean, necessarily maybe it's not a big issue to you. Not saying you don't care, but maybe it's not a big issue to you. I know I worded that wrong, but I think pollution is a big thing to me. And PG&E even says it. PG&E tells you to go solar. I love them and I hate them at the same time. It's a love-hate relationship, right? But PG&E's article from their website, why go renewables? The power of renewables is amazing. And so are the benefits. Using renewable energy to power your home or business not only can lower your energy cost over time, but also generate power free of harmful carbon dioxide emissions and other greenhouse gases. It'll potentially lower your monthly electricity bill by making a well-informed choice to use renewable energy as your primary source of power. PG&E is telling you to make let me reread that. PG&E is telling you, sorry to point at you, but they're the ones telling you, potentially lower your electricity bill by making a well-informed choice to use renewable energy as your primary source of power. Thousands of Californians already rely on our most abundant natural resource, the sun. Well-informed choice. It's one of the reasons I take the time to educate you. I want you to be well-informed. With energy costs rising, there has never been a better time to consider renewable energy. By using renewable energy, you will dramatically reduce your carbon footprint. Each solar kilowatt hour offsets more than a pound of carbon dioxide. PG&E, guys, telling you that, man. PG&E's telling you guys, well-informed decision. There's more articles you have to look through. This is a good sales rep takes the time to research like I do, find other articles about climate change. You'll see that I'll email you some. I'm always adding to this book. You need to read the articles. You'll find which ones are strong for you, which ones you're good at reading. See, I have renewable energy gaining on fossil fuels. One industry terrified of solar power. There's a national shout-out day for solar every year. Middle class solar customers ecstatic, or people who are ecstatic. Residential customers are getting excited and ecstatic about going solar. Solar systems will be installed every 4 minutes in the United States. That's in the president's address over a year and a half ago, what he said at State of the Union. Increasing home solar values. So we need to get that put together in a storyline. But right there, I love climate change. And then what that is also, and PG talking about this, are we halfway to market dominance for solar? Solar is now around 1% of global electricity generation, but that might mean further along than you'd think. Solar power is on a tear. Citigroup recently stated the age of renewables is upon us. Look what's happened. See all that solar? 2010, 2013. Do you know that in 2013 there was more solar installed than there has been in the last 30 years? People are going solar because the cost of solar decreases. It's driving record sales and consumption of solar power. Solar power is going down over 40+% in the last 4 or 5 years alone. And you know it's gone down over 99% since the 70s, since the 1970s. It's insane. Stuff is not for NASA anymore. The stuff's for homes and businesses everywhere. Two main misconceptions people have. Does it work? Can I afford it? Absolutely, absolutely. And it does work. That's why it's blowing up. Federal solar tax credits, state subsidies, manufacturer rebates, technology advances, and solar installation loans decrease the cost of going solar, driving record sales and consumption of solar power. The decreased average cost of solar and the narrowing gap between leasing and purchasing solar energy systems has helped driving record sales and consumption of solar power, tracking 2013 to be one of the strongest years of solar installation growth to date. Like I said, 2013, the strongest year ever. With an average installation timelines of 126 days. We've gotten way better at that, guys. I love it, see? Oh, yeah. Solar is booming at a rapid pace across the U.S. California leads the nation in installs. Do you know that, based on this article, 49% at the time was California? California was half of America's solar generation. That's why I love it here. And well, our rates are third highest. Hawaii being the next. New Jersey and Arizona jumping on the bandwagon, baby. There's about 12 or 14 states right now that are really getting solar happy. This stuff is booming. There's some states that aren't yet. It's like a political battle. But it's coming. See how it's booming? And it's booming because it got customers like that. What's that say? $1,057? $1,057. Right? You don't want to be paying $1,057. Heck, you guys don't even be paying the $250 you're paying right now, right? So solar is booming. So we've got more articles. This is why it's important to tell the story. I wish this was more organized in a way that I could read each article. And in here, see homes. There's another resale value. Shows that middle class people go solar. The static. See, all this stuff is talking about solar. California law, town passes. 2 towns now have passed that if you're going to build a house, you have to build it where you can put solar on it. Our governor last year, breaking California governor, calls for 50% renewables. He wants the state of California to be at 50% renewables. Used to be 33 from Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now it's 50% because that's what Brown wants. Hawaii's already trying to get 100%. Pretty soon America's going to be 100%. Each of these states. Coal plants are going bye-bye. It's all about the renewable energy source of solar, right? Are homes with solar worth more? Here's a newer article talking about that. Yes, they are. Quite a bit more. Do you know the drought we've been in has actually helped raise our electricity prices? Now, it's been great we've been getting this rain, but that we lost a lot of hydropower and a lot of issues have occurred. That's raised rates. It's not what's caused it all to raise, but we went over that one. Understanding prices, Mercury News, LA Times. The rate, will solar power doom PG&E? It's inevitable, but it's great to read through here to the customer. Should I wait? This is awesome to read to the customer. Should I wait for solar technology to improve? Homeowners thinking about solar power often ask us if they should wait for the latest and greatest solar technology. The answer is no, and here's why. In other words, the additional money you might save if you install more efficient panels is significantly less than money you save immediately by installing solar today. And if you wait too long, you will end up losing money rather than saving additional money. You guys have been here how long? 10 years now? You know you've already bought and paid for solar at least once? That's a hard feeling. If you've been here over 7 years, you've already bought solar. You just don't have it. You gave all that money to PG and now you're behind 10 years. We can fix that today, right? PV is the most cost-effective and reliable solution for residential and will be the foreseeable future. Jimmy Carter put PV panels in the White House in 1979. Did you know that? They were trying to get solarized back then. Now let's assume that you wait a year to get panels that are 18% efficient compared to 16%. You will end up producing an additional 725 kilowatts per year and saving an additional $14.50 for a total of $130 in the first year of savings. But now you've given up a year of savings, $116 annually, to get an additional $14.50. You've just given up more than $100. So every moment, every second that's wasted, every year that's wasted, that people aren't going solar, they are missing out on hundreds and hundreds of dollars of savings. And the more they wait, it could be thousands and thousands of dollars. Like I said, 7 to 10 years you've already bought and paid for it. And the great thing about a solar lease is that you lock in your electricity rates from that solar, but if you wait to install and the solar cost is higher, you simply have to lock in at a higher cost. The bottom line is, don't wait for technology to improve. It isn't improving soon in any meaningful way, and you're given the opportunity to save money today and lock in below today's utility prices, rather than getting stuck closer to tomorrow's higher electricity prices. Solar's not improving technology that much. Pretty much the same stuff we put on 25 years ago, same technology is the same. It's gotten slightly better each year, but it's very minimal. You miss out on money as you continue to wait. In fact, you know the people that got the most advantage of going solar was all the people that went between 2011 and 2013. They got the most advantages, the biggest rebates, those tax incentives, all kinds of things were going on. That was the prime time. 2013 was probably the ultimate, right before the rebate ran out. So 2012, 2013 was probably the ultimate time to go solar. And what year was it that we had the most solar install ever? 2013. Right? You see that? Because that was the prime time to do it. And as you can see, 2014 has gotten better, 2015 has gotten better, and 2016 is going to even be better because more and more people now are starting to see it's the real thing to do. Early adopters are out of the way now. Now we got the floodgates are opening. If people can put solar in their home, they're going to do it. Just like satellite dishes. Everywhere you look on homes, there's a satellite dish, isn't there? 15, 20 years ago, were there any satellite dishes on people's rooftops?
Rarely.
No. But now they are, aren't they? What do you think is going to happen with solar? Guys, I'm so confident there's going to be solar on this house one day. Whether it's you or somebody else, this house will have solar. It's inevitable. It's the way to go. Yeah, guys, have any questions?
Pretty good.
This is key. This is key. When you get through really building up the emotions inside and really focusing on these different articles and talking about those 5 reasons they go solar, it is very key that you ask the commitment statement now. So you guys don't have any questions. You guys feel this pain. You kind of see what the rate increases. You guys see what's happening out there. Would it be safe to say that this is a serious problem that you guys want to get taken care of right away?
Okay. Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree it's a serious problem?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get this taken care of right away. This is ridiculous. I say down with PG&E raising our rates. I say down with this happening. And I say up with energy independence. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Serious problem you want taken care of right away.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we can move forward. Do you feel that now? Is there a need inside you?
Yeah.
Do you see? Do you see how I express that? Emotion? Because I believe it and I understand it and I know it and I'm expressing to that customer. Now, what would have happened if you would have done that with the last 3 people you saw?
Oh, I sold them for sure. Mm-hmm.
See how important that is?
Yep.
Remember selling roofs?
Mm-hmm.
Talking to them about the damage on there and then they could concur about leaks?
Yeah.
Did you ever really expose to them and say, look, you really want to take advantage of this?
Yeah.
You better get it done now because if it gets worse,
if it starts leaking, it's too late.
it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Mold starts growing.
Yeah. And then you have a
Drywall.
whole new can of worms.
Now you got $3,000 or $4,000 in drywall repair.
Mm-hmm.
What if it starts leaking and you don't know it and it
Yeah.
starts rotting things out?
Yeah.
And then you get black mold growing up there?
Yeah.
Pretty serious.
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't want that, do you?
Sense of urgency.
Sense of urgency. I don't care what product it is. When I get done building up urgency, I look them straight in the eye and I say, this is a serious problem you want taken care of right away, isn't it?
Mm.
And they're like, oh yeah. And with those many commitments in there and how important this is. So it's important to have your book laid out. This is not going to work.
Mm.
It's important to have, see I have this on here. 2 books. Company book, product, third party. and have it in a storyline. Because see, even I was confused trying to tell you a story because pages were everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had a storyline laid out in order of how I could explain the story to them, I could lead them through the emotions. Rate increases, right? Oh, get them all worked up, helping the planet. But the good news is people are going solar because it's raising value. So it gives them a sign of relief. So you got those emotions going like this. And then it makes it real easy to ask that commitment statement. What's that commitment statement? Let me hear you say it.
Isn't this a problem you would really want to get taken care
Isn't
of
this
today? Isn't this a problem that you want to get taken care of?
If you're having a heart attack, would you consider that something you better seriously get done? Seriously get done.
Yeah.
Don't just say, isn't this a problem you like taking care of right away? No. Isn't this a serious problem? You need to make sure it's serious in their mind, serious in their heart, serious in their soul.
And it's a serious issue.
Serious issue you want to take care of right away.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, yes, you just close the door to the need.
Oh, yeah.
Now they can't tell you, oh, I'm just going to wait. I got 4 other things I want to do first. How can they tell you that? Because then I'm going to say, oh, I'm a little confused. Earlier we were talking about it and blah, 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 blah. And it seemed like blah, 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 blah. And it was a serious thing that you said you wanted to get taken care of right away. You not feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
And I could teach you guys closing, how you can use words back on them. But I can't do that until you know how to perform these.
Oh, yeah.
Work them up. Serious problem. Obama pledges $120 million towards solar power, clean energy. 2015. All the rebates have gone away. 1,500 solar manufacturers. There's terms and stuff for you, right? So all those articles, guys, and I'm going to get more articles and keep giving them to you. But this book should be thick with articles and a storyline. Your bullets, man.
Oh, yeah.
You got to know them. And you know, I haven't read some of those articles in forever. What'd you see me do?
I just go through and read them.
What did I do?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you think I knew the article, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Guess what I did? I highlighted them. So guess what I read?
Highlighted parts.
And if it's green, if it's yellow, I make sure I read it. If it's a different color, I make sure I read anything that's highlighted. But you know why I did the colors? Different colors, especially the red sometimes? The green is to really emphasize something. Yellow is to read. The green was to really emphasize, like reflect your voice, get excited by it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Notice how I've highlighted them all?
Mm-hmm.
And then as time went on, I even had some where I've put in the red, because I really wanted it to stand out. I think it was on the climate change one, right? So, any questions, man?
No, that's pretty well covered.
See what you got to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
So what you need to do is you need to get the 5 reasons. Figure out. Like I said, I like to start with PG&E rate increases first, and then go to each one of these. But have articles about each level.
Okay.
And then have storylines, so that way you can focus on that one, then you focus on that one, then you focus on that one, then you focus on that one. And if you found out on the back of your sheet why they would go solar, I'd really focus on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we want to stop the rate increases. Well, guess what? I'm going to really talk about rate increases.
Yeah, no doubt.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes sense?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that was step 3. Just to repeat, and go back over. The purpose of step 3 is to build up fear of loss. So if you're building up a lot of emotions, you're getting the customer worried about rate increases, the fact they've already bought solar over the last 10 years, they just don't have it, all that money that they're losing, they're going to want to stop that pain, because those articles even talked about pain in it. Mm-hmm. When you can build that up in the customer, it's very easy to turn to them when you're done with your step 3 and say, isn't this a serious problem you want taken care of right away? They're going to say yes, especially with those mini commitments. And what's really cool about it is it's going to make it a fun and easy step 4 and 5. Because guess what step 4 and 5 is? The solution.
Mm-hmm.
Your solution to the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get to become the hero.
Oh, yeah.
So your 4 and 5 is beautiful. It's fun and exciting. You're expressing how great it is and all these emotions. And now they're coming back down all this pissed off and going, wow, here's my solution. You're my hero. That's how you get dinner cooked for you. And that's how you get these people to love you and give you referrals. And that's why they give you hugs at the end, because you just saved them $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't work up those emotions and you don't spend the time to work through it with them and really present that, good luck. Because if you don't build up that need, they ain't buying anything. Serious problem you want taken care of right away. Isn't it a serious problem you want taken care of right away? Absolutely. That's another daily dose of Mike Mynar. We'll see you again soon.